This is The Book of Life, a show about Jewish Kidlit mostly. I'm Heidi Rabinowitz. Welcome to our special series, Books in the Time of Coronavirus. We'll hear from authors who had to cancel their spring 2020 promotional events due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Today we hear from author Leslie Kimmelman about her picture book Worse and Worse on Noah's Ark from Apples and Honey Press. As Leslie says, it's a good metaphor for sheltering in place.
Hi, my name is Leslie Kimmelman. I live just north of New York City, and my book is Worse and Worse on Noah's Ark. It's coming out on April 1st from Apples and Honey Press. My book is obviously a retelling of the Noah's Ark story for kids from about 3 to 7 years old. I've always been fascinated by the story of Noah's Ark. I mean, all those animals, and I love animals, forced to live together for such a long time in not so ideal conditions. I actually had tried to write a Noah's Ark story twice before. The first time I was telling the story from the point of view of a worm, actually a bookworm, who was keeping the Ark's records. It didn't quite work. So then I tried to do it with a rhyme for each day, like this one on day 8. The honeybees are looking ill, says one, I'm going to be sick. I never would have thought we bees would feel so awfully seasick. Or this one, water pouring through hole in flooring. Suspect Mr. Beaver, who's got cabin fever. Anyway, that manuscript didn't go anywhere either. So about 1.5 years ago, I tried again. This time it was a more straightforward version, but a little bit Yiddish inflected. Something along the lines of, Oi, things keep getting worse and worse. Until finally they start getting better and better. And that was the version that ended up becoming this book. When I promoted my Worse and Worse on Noah's Ark book, I was going to ask kids to imagine if they were stuck on an ark for a long period of time. I thought about asking them what their favorite animal was, because for me, I made sure that every animal that I really liked was shown in the illustrations. Maybe even to imagine each of the members of their family as an animal. What kind of animal would your mom be? Your brother? You? I think I might be a sloth, always smiling, and I have to admit, sometimes a little bit lazy. Or maybe I just want to believe that because I really love sloths. In fact, I have 2 other books coming out this month about a sloth. I would also ask kids to think about what kinds of things they would do on the ark to stay busy and happy. Of course, now I can't stop thinking about the resonance of the Noah's Ark story with what's going on around us with the coronavirus pandemic. The story seems to be a perfect metaphor for sheltering in place. We're all on our own arks, and we're all having to navigate really rough seas. We have to figure out how to get along, how to stay busy, how to support each other and pull together, and how to maintain an optimistic attitude in the face of something pretty dark and scary. But we do have resources. We have each other. In my story, it takes a leak in the floor of the ark to jolt all the animals into realizing, pun intended, that they're all in the same boat and they have to work together. So I believe that the Noah's Ark story is really meaningful to read today and to think about in light of what's going on. And I hope that my version is also good for some smiles. The illustrations are really adorable. You can get a copy right now on any site that sells books, including IndieBound. But my best suggestion is to order a copy from your favorite local bookstores, because I think these days they could all use a real boost. So Tikkun Olam, it's especially important right now to send some kindness out into the world. We're especially limited right now because we have to stay in our houses, but computers and phones make it really easy to reach out. Don't forget people who live alone or who are elderly or anyone who needs some cheering up. In my house, we've actually been doing daily FaceTime sing-alongs, which make everyone feel good. Thanks for listening.
If you write or illustrate Jewish books, and your new book's Spring 2020 promotional events have been canceled due to the pandemic, I invite you to take part in the Book of Life's special series, Books in the Time of Coronavirus. Visit tinyurl.com/bookscovid for instructions or get in touch with me at 561-206-2473 or bookoflifepodcast@gmail.com. Listeners, you know the drill. Check out bookoflifepodcast.com for links to every way to reach me, every way to support the show, every way to get more information, and to hear every Book of Life episode since 2005, since you've probably got extra time on your hands right now. Thanks, as always, to the Freilach Makers Klezmer String Band for our background music. Please stay healthy, and everybody, please wash your hands.